And Hemdall, he's very weary. They've been traveling straight for 2-3 days. Sleeping when they could, on ships. It's been hard. They've dealt with bandits. They've dealt with wild animals. Yeah, their nerves are rattled. Everybody's on edge, and they're tired and exhausted. So Hemdall agrees. He says, "Fine. In the morning, we will take this matter up. In the day, and me and my sons will sleep outside." And okay, all right. It's like, that's great. You can do whatever you like. You can sleep outside the fort, outside the gates, or you can sleep in the courtyard. But just keep yourself and keep your men in the courtyard or outside the gates. Don't go anywhere else. All right. Gunnr, old man Gunnr, he knows something's afoot here. He knows something's wrong. Hemdall agrees. Stands up. Let's go. Takes his sons outside, where they proceed to. He puts men outside the gate. He puts a men and the gold outside the gate, and inside him and his men hunker down, you know. But he keeps most of his men there. And they start putting up tarps and laying out bedding, and the daughters have already, you know, started to, you know, get chatty with the men, and the men are tired, and you know, they're bringing out meat and food and drink and bread, and some poles so they can dry their clothes, and fires are started. So things are winding down at the Gunnr farm, and so Gunnr, old man Gunnr, and his sons, he goes, "Listen, watch these guys. Stay vigilant on them. Stay vigilant." And it's like, okay, all right. And as they're surrounding the place and setting secting security and everything, you know, old man Gunnr brings his men and brings his son and goes, "They won't give us the cow. They want to talk about it, you know. So for right now, bed down, watch the gold, and make sure there's security on the gold at all times, and we'll go from there." So they sleep. They go to night. The night comes and they sleep, and Bruce and the villagers are just kind of watching all this, and they see fire starting. They smell food, and you know, Bruce is like, "Looks good to me," and villagers like, "Yeah, it's getting late. You know, let's all go home." So Bruce goes back to the inn. Comes in, and Oscar's like, "Bruce, how you doing?" You know. Come on in. Shows him to his quarters, where there's a warm, hot, steaming bath. You know, big cauldron of hot water prepared. And he's like, "Here you go, man." He's like, "If you require clothes, we have some clothes for you. Here's some towels. Here's some amazing soap. You know, made from that tea. Remember that tea? Yeah, we use that stuff for everything." And Bruce is like, "Wow, okay, all right, you know." He's like, "I'll take some of that warm milk." "Yes, sir, right away." "Yes, Bruce." And they bring in some warm milk, and you know, he's got this big thing of warm milk in his cup, and he's like, he just pours a little bit in his cup. He's like, "Oh man, he's great." Slips into his bath and sits there drinking his warm tea or warm milk. takes all his items that he has and he puts them under his pillow. Lays down and has a good night's sleep. Way to go, Bruce. And but as everybody has left the Gunnr family farm, old man Hemdall, this is after he's talked to his sons, he's agreed that, okay, fine, we'll take 100 head of cattle, 50 bulls and 50 heifers, and we'll take them back. And he's trying to talk to his sons about how they can do this, and yeah, we could do it. There's enough grazing land that we could provide for the cows, and for the price that we'll still have gold for the trip back, and that will be enough to save our village from starvation. So he bangs. He demands audience with Gunnr. Old man Gunnr. Old man Gunnr comes out. Yes, Hemdall. They sit down and come on in. And Gunnr reluctantly agrees because he's seen that they're in no shape to fight, none whatsoever. And his men are weary and spent. They're all passed out. Some are hanging out, curled up with the daughters already of old man Gunnr. So he tells old man Gunnr that, okay, we'll take 100 head of cattle, 50 bulls, 50 heifers. What is your price? Gunnr says, fair market, and we'll even throw in calves. We'll even give you food and food for the animals to carry with you, and extra carts if you wish. Anything you need to make your trip back home, we'll make it happen. We have everything that we can at our disposal that we can give to you. Hemdall's like, fine, great. Wow. And a lot of wildlife running through the wood, through the place here. It's raining, but there's a lot of wildlife just running about. Deer and raccoons and squirrels. Anyway, yeah. So Hemdall agrees reluctantly, goes outside and leaves his gold out by the gate. He just goes to the chest and he pulls out a smaller chest and fills that up and puts that off to the side. He tells the men to guard that. The rest of that gold is old man Gunnr's. So no need to guard it. Go inside the gates and hang out. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. And old man Gunnr tells his sons, just two of you, go out there, guard it. Till the morning, and we'll go from there. Okay, all right. So everybody's bedded down and everything, and while everybody's sleeping, Hemdall wakes up, goes out into the village, goes past the village to a little shack that they had passed coming in. In that shack was an old sea hare. She's not allowed in the village, but she works for, doing whatever. And it's an old hut covered in mud and bones and animal skins, and she comes out. She's wearing bones that rattle and creak, and you can hear it just she jingles as she walks and rattles and creaks as she walks. And she looks at this man in the middle of the night, who comes, riding up on a horse, outside her hut. And she looks at this old man and goes, "Oh, I must be dreaming, for such a man of great deceit, riding on a mighty horse, comes to calling in the middle of the night." Old man Gunnr's like, "Yes, old woman, old crow, you know me well. I have a proposition for you. I have a lot of gold sitting at the Gunnrs." "Oh, the Gunnrs, I know the Gunnrs. The golden cow are you seeking, eh? You will not get that cow." The old man Gunnr, or Hemdall, is enough of that. You already know my intent, but for my plan to work, I need you to curse the gold. She's like, "Curse the gold." "Yes. Curse the gold so that anyone that touches it, anyone that gains ownership of it, dies." And the old sealer, the old crow, is playing with her 3 hairs on her chin, and goes, "I agree. Let's do it. This ought to be fun." And Hemdall is, "What is your price, old crow?" Old crow says, "It's obvious you brought gold. I like gold, but I don't need much of gold. What I really require is a hand." Old man Gunnr's like, "A hand? Like a hand?" She's like, "Yes, the left hand of a deceitful man." And she's like, "Might that be you? Surely within your group of sons you have a deceitful man amongst you. If not yourself, or whom you are come a-calling me in the middle of the night." Hemdall doesn't like this idea. No. I'm not giving you my hand, old crow. That's not going to happen. So I do have some sons. Unfortunately, are deceitful. It took me a long time to get the argar out of them. But they still hold deceitful and dishonorable ways. See, it was okay to be deceitful as long as nobody knows about it. So Hemdall agrees. So he says, "I'll be back." He goes and tells his son Chpt, "You were to come with me, accompany me, so we can conduct some business. I need your help." Chpt is a bit of a man, not like his other brothers. His other brothers are big and strong, and they've worked the farms and the fields, and they've fought and trained. And Chpt is he's more of a he's a warrior in training, if you will, and he was known to steal things and lie, cheat, and steal within his village, and his father Hemdall had to step in and say, "Please don't kill my son. I'll take care of it." And he's had to take him under his tutelage and teach him the ways of being a man. But now he's about to go do some shady shit. And we all know what Chpt needs to do. So he brings Chpt back to the old hook nose, old crow, and there she has a small little kettle of noxious stuff brewing under a fire, on a fire. She has a chopping block, big old knife, big old meat cleaver, big old axe, and she also has cups, drinks for everyone. And Hemdall and Chpt get there, and in this cold, dark night, old crow is sitting there just, you've arrived, have a seat, drink. Drink hearty, especially you. Yeah. And Hemdall's like, drink, Chpt. Hemdall brings the cup to his lips, but doesn't drink. Chpt takes it and bloop, falls out, asleep, knocked out. And so the old crow says, cut off his hand and put it in the kettle. Hemdall's like, oh, damn, this sucks. Puts his son's hand on the chopping block, chops it off, throws it in the kettle. It starts to boil and fester, and all this stuff starts coming out of it, and sparkly and blue flame, and she says, there we go, She's like, and then she pours some into a cup and puts a thing on it. Goes, take this and pour it on the gold. And oh, okay. So he takes he takes the liquid, bandages up his son Chpt's hand, who is just passed out, doesn't feel a thing, never felt his hand come off. And oddly enough, not a lot of blood came out of it. See, there's like, that's the potion. And she says, might you have some gold for me? And Hemdall is like, yes, here's a bag of gold. There you go. And the Seether's like, that's it. We're done. Go away. I do not want to see you ever again. Ever. Don't speak of this matter, for the townsfolk will surely kill me. Surely run me off. Hemdall agrees, and takes his son Chpt and throws him on the horse and takes him back. So takes him back in the middle of the night. He comes up on the gold. He sees two men that are guarding the gold. He goes, hey, I'm just checking on everything, making sure everything is good, and making sure that the gold is still there. This is still my gold until the deal is finalized. And the sons are like, yeah, I guess so. But we were told to watch it. He's like, that's fine. Go tell your father that I'm out here counting the gold. I don't care. But I need to get in here and look at everything. Make sure that nothing is missing and whatever. So the sons are like, whatever, fine. We don't give a shit. We're gonna go over here. We don't want to watch this goat anyway. But we don't want to be out here anyway. Fuck. So they walk off to the tree line there, and they're just kind of just like watching and wondering, and every now and then they got their backs to him. And Hemdall opens up the chest and takes the liquid and throws it over the gold. The gold kind of glows a little bit, goes back down. The sons are just like, whatever, man. It's none of our concern. This is their bullshit. I just can't wait to get home and crawl into bed. So, whatever. Hemdall buttons up and locks everything and takes the key and gives it to the men. Because here's the keys to the lock. I'm all done. You can do whatever you want to. You can inspect it. Just go about your, don't mess with the gold, of course. Here's the keys. You can give them to your father. In the morning, I'm going to bed. I have my passed out son here. I need to get him laid out and situated. So Hemdall goes back into the courtyard. In the morning, he knows that he's got to wake up and he's got to move fast. So, because everything's going to move really, really fast, he thinks, in the morning. So, he lays out. He throws Chpt down. Just throws him down there. Passed out. The bandage on his arm. Oh man, and everybody goes to sleep. There's everybody inside the courtyard is passed out. There's no need for any guards or anything. And the two Gunnr's sons are just like, why are we out here? This is stupid. Why don't we just hang out, do nothing? We'll play some Hanafatal or whatever. Whatever. And Chpt wakes up from his drugged, stupor, and he's like, oh God, where the hell is my hand? Father, why have you done this? Father cut off my hand. For what reason he doesn't know, but he's very pissed off about it. He lost a hand. Chpt has always been that deceitful son. He couldn't believe, after all that his father had tried to teach him and mentor him and being a good son and an honorable son, and to walk away from the ways of the Arga, and to be honorable, that his own father, Hemdall, would do something as dishonorable as this, and didn't care about anything. So Chpt says, that's it. I'm taking the gold for myself. And as everyone sleeps, he creeps outside of the courtyard, into where the gate, past the guards, sneaky, sly, keeping to the shadows. He sees the gold. He sees the two men guarding the gold. They're not his brothers. And the other guy. There's 4 horses, and the 4 horses are still just hanging out, bridled to the cart, to this massive cart and this chest of gold. Hemdall himself is passed out inside the courtyard with a smaller chest that he's guarding himself. He's barely sleeping on it. Whatever. Surrounded by his sons. He doesn't feel threatened whatsoever. He's done his thing and he's got what he wanted, and he's given most of this gold to old man Gunnr. It's his problem now. But he knows. He knows that in the morning when they go to take possession of it, that everybody's gonna die. Old man Gunnr's gonna die, and anybody that's there is gonna die because they take possession of it. Little did he know that old little Chpt is lurking in the shadows. It comes up behind the two men that are guarding it. Very lackadaisical, if you will. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's asleep except for these two and Chpt. Chpt sneaks up behind them and goes shh, shh, cuts their throats. They fall in a heap on the ground, gurgling. He takes their bodies and puts it on the cart, both of them. Gets on the cart and drives away. And he does so at such a... He's trying to get out of that. He wants to get out of that village as fast as possible. So, but he has to sneak out. So he sneaks out little ways, and once he gets on down the road, he goes by the through the village, and he is tearing ass through the village in full gallop, making a hell of a racket. And Bruce Lee, passed out in his room, hears this rumbling and this racket. He remembers what that sound was. That's the big cart that came through here. So he wakes up, goes outside to see this guy just taking off, just yeah, and this cart. And he sees a hand hanging out underneath the tarp of the chest on the cart.